Hot 97 with one of the gods of gods. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Oh my God, of course. So now you were just talking about how you're on this thread with all these other great producers. Like you guys are just in a group chat?
Yeah, everybody knows about the battle with Just Blaze and Swizz Beatz, and so after that happened, me and Pete Rock have been doing battles for over a year, for almost 3 years, almost 5 years. Dang. We've been doing battles, and actually the only other battle I've ever done is with DJ Scratch, with Spike Lee through a jam in the park, and me and DJ Scratch did one. But only once. So,
we
did two. We did two at one in Europe, and so so now, the next day I wake up. I don't know. After I did an interview that I had to do before the battle, I went and did Questlove's podcast, and the next day, so it was the day after his podcast. He puts like maybe 10 people on a thread. Swizz Beatz was on it. Just Blaze was on it, a couple other people, and then it did turn from 10 to 15 to 20 to 30.
My gosh.
Now it's past 50.
How many? Who are these people?
It's hard to remember
50?
because it keeps increasing. Yeah. And it's called...
Scratcher said J. Cole's in it now.
It's called The Rhythm, The Rebels. So,
nice.
So it's Jazzy Jeff, Lord Finesse, Pete Rock, Alchemist, Large Professor, Swizz Beatz, Marley Marl, Angry Ray, Pasta News from De La Soul, Diplo, Peanut Butter Wolf, DJ Scratch, J. Period, Stro Elliott, Just Blaze, Knots, Khan from Khan and Amir, Clark Kent, J. Cole.
Wow.
Because he makes beats, obviously. Yeah. Salam Remy, Questlove is the head of it, and Q-Tip is on it.
Oh.
Spinner's on it. Kilo Saunders is on it. Buck Wild from DITC. Joe Run is on it. Kenny Dope, and that's just to name a few, because as they keep popping up, more people keep getting added, and it's been starting to be more names who I don't know if I don't know their number, it just shows a number. So, so we'll go, well, who's 313?
Yeah.
So and so, and they'll go, oh, that's me. I'm so and so. Oh yeah, what's up? And then we add them and put their name in. And then today, we Questlove started a Jimmy Jam one.
Wow.
And that just happened out of nowhere to where now everybody's like, Jimmy Jam, we have so many questions to ask you because he's such a legend with the time and Prince and all that stuff. So that's
what happens in this kind of conversation? Like, what do you guys talk about?
From beats to everybody sending beats, videos. I'm like, yo, I got a song that I never came out with KRS-One. Play a piece of it, and everybody's like, yo. And then, Scratch will be like, I got a Busta Rhymes joint y'all haven't heard, and everybody's posting only amongst us.
God.
And then today, Q-Tip was like, favorite Cool G rap song, only name one, and we say one. Favorite Pete Rock song, favorite Gangstar song, favorite, and then I said, what about favorite Q-Tip song? I
love this.
And this just happened today, so it keeps switching and switching and switching.
That's nice though.
Yeah, I wake up to like 600 texts. It's crazy. It's like, does anybody ever sleep?
Yeah. This is better than any social media. This is because everyone knows each other, respects each other, has love for each other.
A-Track just got added. Shout to him too. So
oh wow,
it's been nutty.
This is awesome. And now you have a song with Miguel.
Yes. I have a hip hop label that's been out since 2004 called Year Round Records. It's been out doing all my street music, keeping it raw. TTT, which is the logo right here, is a new a label that I started with my manager Ian, and it houses anything outside of my street hip hop music, so that I can drop R&B, the new wave, rock, punk. It doesn't matter, just singles, anything, just through that umbrella.
Oh, that's good.
And TTT stands for To the Top.
Oh.
Which is our motto that we live by with our business, and just our vision and our goals to just stay on top of our game. So the Miguel record was recorded back when he was working on the Wild Heart album. It was called Damned. And then as the album got released, that version didn't make the album, but we still wanted to put it out, and we reached out to see if we could get permission to do it. And RCA, big shout to them, shout to Mark Pitts, his manager, and Wayne Barrows. They said they're cool with it. Miguel was cool with it. So now we got to put out ourselves and a video. So the video is out, and we're rolling. It's doing real well.
And you changed the name.
yeah, because he says in the hook, I'm damned to loving you. So I said, why don't we call it To Loving You to kind of make it new, even though it was released as Damned, and that's why the scratches are different damn scratches. So.
How did that happen? Did you reach out to Miguel, or is this?
We met at South by Southwest. I'm going to the bar. And he's like, yo, I got you on the drink.
Yeah.
I had a Jack Daniels already ready. And he goes, I got it. And we just started talking about music and how much we like each other's stuff. That's when he was on his first album. And he was just like, hey, man, we should work one day. And Ian was like, yo, we should go down there and just mess with him while he's still recording. So we went down there. And we did it from scratch, which is everybody that knows me, Scratch, you know, that everybody knows I make my beats from scratch. I don't walk in with like 15 tracks for you to choose from. I literally make it right on the spot. So same thing with Miguel. He started playing. I didn't know he played guitar. So all those guitar licks are him playing it, and he kept playing. I was like, yo, I like that. I just put a little simple beat together so he could play it to my tempo.
Wow.
And then I said, just record those licks for a few minutes and let me take the best parts of it. And then I just programmed it into a verse chorus thing, and then so it's really a stripped down raw track, but his guitar licks really stood out and made the groove right, so it didn't need anything else added to it. Yeah.
How long does it take you to make a beat?
It
Because
varies.
you're making it from scratch.
It varies. Sometimes it may take a couple of days. Sometimes it's right there, make 20 minutes to an hour. It just depends on the artist. Because if it's an artist I know I'm going in with, I kind of start hearing what I think I should create just in my head before I find the sounds I'm looking for. It's kind of like an invisible hearing, but I hear it. Start looking for sounds that match or somewhere close to it, and start, just putting the elements together. Next thing you know, the artist usually is like,
let's go.
That's what I'm looking for, is the reaction. If I don't get the reaction, I'm like, all right, erase it. I usually erase it.
I was going to ask, have you had to do that before, where you're with an artist and you didn't feel that, that love, and you just said, all right, let's do it again?
Many times, yeah. It happens. I mean, the creative process of making a record is not as easy as people think, even though you hear the finished product. But for us, we take it so seriously. It's like we're very hard on ourselves, especially as producers, to make sure that I mean, you're not sitting there saying, I got to make a hit, but you do want it to do as well as any other record that's big. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to pick, but I guess which beat would you say is the most memorable beat that you made?
That is the number one question I get asked.
I have to know
all the time. Oh, man.
Because now we're going to go back and listen to whatever it is. The one that's most memorable. It doesn't necessarily mean you liked it the most, or it's just the one that...
What? One of them that really, really took off for me, and we made it as a goof to radio, because we really didn't get a lot of radio play in the earlier stage of the Gangstar career, was Mass Appeal. Because the little melody that's playing, I said it sounds like you're in an elevator waiting for the elevator to take you to your floor, and you're like, dee, 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 So we did it to make fun of that, and that turned out to be our bigger record. So back on the elevator and make some more beats.
Yeah, right. That is really funny.
Yeah.
Who did you have most fun with? Look, I know it's hard to say, but I mean, you've worked with all the gods.
Yeah.
Most, I guess, exciting time where you were just like, this is it. This feeling could last forever, and it's everything right now.
I mean, every session I've ever usually worked on, from Gangstar to Jay-Z to Nas to Biggie to even Christina Aguilera, were fun, bugged out sessions where, we look forward every day, because there was no attitude and ego. It was just, your guard is down, and everybody gets to see how silly I am and all that stuff, and not everybody gets to see that, So it really ranges from all the people I just mentioned, from the Gangstar session to Nas to Jay. Because even Nas session, when I worked with him in the early stage, he'd bring like 30 people to the session.
Did he?
And then he'd bring them all in the vocal booth. I'm like, dude, they got to be quiet. They can't.
What were they doing?
They just want to be in that moment. And he's like, yo, come with me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dude, yo, we got the talk button, and I'm like, yo, Nas, they got to be quiet.
But he was cool with you telling him that.
Yeah. He was totally cool, because I'm more like an OG to them.
Yeah.
So, but it's still like, you got to be quiet. And they're all just like, yo, thun, pass that, thun, yo. The bottles, everything. And it's like, you got to be quiet so I can get a clean vocal.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah. And plus, they don't all have headphones on. So he's I'm like, and he's like, yo, he said, be quiet. So stuff like that. Big, same thing. Hilarious, very comical, and not to be funny, he's just naturally funny. Even Big L, very funny guy.
Really?
Made you laugh. I'm talking about stomach hurting laughing.
Oh my God. I don't know why I don't picture
very
that.
Comical. Very comical. Jay, every session back then in the good old days of Rockefeller, the whole squad's there, but they would joke around all day and just look like they're just enjoying the whole ride. And then the songs were coming out dope.
And it sounded like that, right? It just sounded, it was very organic.
Yeah.
It sounded very genuine. Do you feel
100%.
That's the best way for music to be created, is to have that initial, some type of contact, right? Like you said, you and Miguel met at the bar before getting into the studio, or does it not really matter at this point?
It matters all the time. Yeah, it always matters because there's times that, I've said this to Ian before. I sometimes I'll go in the studio and we don't do anything for that day, and it's still a recording session to me, because we may have been there just to vibe with each other, just to talk and see if we even click. When I was coming up in the 90s, the record labels used to give us a check and go, hey, go hang out with them and just bring us back a dope record. They weren't overseeing everything, being all hounding us. They just wanted a good vibe to come out, to where we would go out with the artists, take them to a club so they could see our scene and see that we got respect where we go at, and then we'd go in the next day and cut the record, and it would always be a banger.
Wow.
Yeah. So I still
Labels
like that
aren't
method.
like that anymore.
No.
No.
And I still like that method, because sometimes you do just want to vibe out and hang, and then, you want to go out, you want to go eat,
Yeah.
You want to have a drink. Some people don't drink, some people aren't hungry, and some people just want to get right to it. And if they just want to get right to it, I'm cool with that too, but I want them to be as comfortable as possible, like if they're visiting our home, and that way the vibes, flow when you start to create the record.
Gosh, that's... what a process, right? When
Yeah.
you're hearing this, like, we
Come
get
to
the
a session.
Yeah, because it's like we get the finalized product, the art, right? But it's like there's a whole storyline behind everything.
Yeah, a lot to it.
God,
Even with the
that's-
Miguel record, we're literally haven't cut the vocals fully yet, because he started writing as soon as he liked the beat. I'm sitting on the couch on my phone, and I look, and he's Instagramming us like this. Well, I'm not even looking. I'm sitting there on my phone doing this, and he puts, this might be our first jam. And, so that came out of just the vibes coming together.
I love this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's missing. But that's just me, maybe because I have an old soul.
Right.
And I love the golden era.
What are you,
of
19,
hip-hop.
right?
Yeah, of course, I guess, like, every time, being such a fan of just seeing what hip-hop did, not just musically, for the culture, right? It gave us all homes. It gave us hope that we can, make a living off something we absolutely love.
No question. Yeah.
And being that you're part of this foundation, and through many years of it, right? It's not just like one era. Like, you've been through it all and have seen everything. When you saw all the beefs happening, being that you had to produce records for whoever and they were beefing with somebody else,
Right.
Did it ever cross your mind that I don't know where this could go and I'm concerned?
Not in the era that we were coming up in, because the records could get grimy, but after that, everybody was cool. Whereas it got later on in the years, somebody's like, well, when I see you from what you said on that verse, I'm going to smack you.
Yeah.
And a brawl's going to take place. But it's really never, the music and the battling part has always just been part of hip-hop and rap. And it's normal to even be amongst that whole situation where it's always clean at the end of the day, where no one takes it to want to really fight it out. And the dope thing now is, it seems like even with Swizz pushing to get Flex and Clue to go battle and all this type of stuff, it's like he's bringing back that purity where it's like, win or lose, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how me and P Rock do it. Sometimes they're like, who's the winner? And some people are yelling for him, some people are yelling for me, and then we're like, we both won, and then we hug on stage, and then we go back to and he's putting on the song. I'm like, I know you didn't, and want to take his needle off the record and stuff, and then it's like, that's right, I got one for you, and it's fun, man. So but that's the element of hip hop music, and it should remain that way. Look at Nicki and Remy, same thing.
What do you think about that? Did you hear Nicki's response?
Yeah, I heard it.
What did you think about it?
I thought it could have been better for what Nicki. I knew Nicki back in the days, and I did a cipher with her on the BET Hip Hop Awards. So her verse was mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I mean, even when she flicked the cigarette, everything, like she really, really was part of the verse and made the verse even bigger with the way she moved and just the acts that she did in it. And I know she's gotten more into a pop audience and everything. She's got her Barbies and all that,
right.
and they're like Beyonce's
Beehive.
Yeah, they are. They're vicious. Real. They're vicious.
Yeah.
But she's already #1 with that record already. She's charting with the release.
Loyalty.
I'm into the beats first, and even though Ether isn't the illest beat, it made sense for what Rem did over in Ether, and then even calling it Sheetha.
Yeah.
But Rem, I want to hear one of them just mean, hard,
right.
just 90s, 80s style beats, just to spit New York original sound,
right.
and say what you got to say.
Right.
So that's where I start crossing points off, you know. But I still respect her music, love Drake, Wayne. We're all good and everything, but still like Rem's better.
Oh my God! You know what?
Rem's, the bark. It's a certain bark you gotta do. It's that bark and her flow and all of that.
It was the second song I wasn't too much of a fan.
Me neither.
I was just like, you didn't have to.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, it's like first one really was that powerful stop right there. It was just like with Super Ugly with Jay. We was like, we don't need that one. If you lost, you lost, and then let's get back to making joints. It's get back to making joints.
This is what it's about.
Now move on.
Yeah.
What's said is said. They both got it off.
Yeah.
Move on now. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you wish you would have worked with or still want to work with?
DMX, I've always wanted to work with. I spoke to him recently because he's working on his album. But I said, man, we got to get one in.
That makes me happy.
I'm a big Ghostface Killer fan. Even Rem, I want to work with her. I want to work with Nicki.
Yeah. Wow.
But the way I do my thing, not the style of what she puts out usually on radio, my way.
Yeah. That way.
So Nicki, wherever you at, Rem, wherever you at. Let's go. I'll go with both of them. They can do one together. It doesn't even matter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who do you think would? I guess there's no winner lose, but Funk or Clue.
I've seen Clue spin in gigs, but I've seen Flex spin way back in the 80s, even when he was with a group called Deuces is Wild.
Yeah.
And they had a record called Deuces is Deaf, and they had a record called 5 Times the Rhymer, which was so raw back in the late 80s. And, Nine was his MC, and, just even hearing Flex when he goes in, playing breaks and taking it back. He has his days that he does that on Hot.
Oh, man, yeah.
So, I mean, Clue would have to really reach deep. I mean, when it comes to mixtapes, Clue is the man. Then shout out to Desert Storm and all of that. But comes to the spinning aspect, and I heard Flex on the radio the other day, and he was like, yo, when I touch that vinyl... And that's the thing. It's about touching that vinyl. I mean, I can do CDJs, I can button push, all that, but touching that vinyl is the most fun thing to do. More than making beats, it's just fun to scratch and cut, and Isn't
that what DJs are supposed to do?
Yeah, I think if you do any other style, like I said, I do CDJs if that's all they have available, and I'm gonna cut it up and kill it. But you must always know how to be a connoisseur of being on just straight vinyl, no matter what style of DJing you do. You got to know how to touch vinyl.
You have to.
Yeah, not Serato, regular vinyl.
Yes, like for real.
Grab a crate.
Do you miss that?
I'm gonna start a company called Grab a Crate.
Yeah. Like, do you miss seeing that? Do you miss seeing people carrying crates into the club? And
well, they're pretty heavy.
I was gonna say maybe not you carrying them, but somebody else.
There's a downside too, because all your boys will roll with you. People don't even know you got 9-10 crates. They're coming in. It's like, wow, I didn't have to carry anything.
Yeah.
Party's over. It's only 2 people left. and now you're tired, and it's 5 in the morning. You're carrying, and they seem like they're heavier by 5 a.m.
God, no, I don't. I remember interning. It was right before the crossover into Serato.
Right.
And I did not like carrying the crates in at all.
Yeah.
But you had to. I was underage going into the club and taking them in too. But still, I think it's just seeing that and respecting vinyls and respecting the art of DJing and creating.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, that's all we knew. And then even when Serato came out, and this is still my motto, I feel like Serato needs to be earned. Like you have to have credit to get a car. It's like you have to do a credit check. Do you own over 100 records? No, can't get a Serato. Because even I was against Serato for a long time, and because I was like, no, it's going against the vinyl way. But shout to the legend DJ Jazzy J. He said even Scratch told me, Jazzy Jeff told me, they said, yo, this is your reward for carrying crates for years and years and years and hauling speakers and equipment. This is your reward. Now you got 20,000 songs, but you still are gonna cut like you cut.
Right.
And I remember I did a gig with Scratch, and I was horrible because I'm forgetting, the commands.
Oh my God.
And I didn't want to have a cheat sheet. I was like, I want to just be able to do it, because I feel like if I had a cheat sheet, I'm not really taking it all in to do it the right way, So I just kept. I have a song rocking, the crowd's going. Also, I hit the button to put on the other turntable, and it goes on the wrong turntable and goes to another song, and I'm just like, yo, excuse. And I even explained it to the crowd. Please bear with me, but. And Scratch's like, no, you just do it like this, and he taught me how to cue point and everything, and then I finally, I'm looping, I'm coming up with stuff right at the last minute, and just tearing it up. But again, you got to practice, got to still practice.
And I think a lot of people look at what you do and they just think it's just, hey, you walk in a studio. It's like, this is years of practice, committing, dedicating your entire life to this, obsessing over it.
Yeah, I'm still obsessed. That's why I was 19 when I got into the business, and I'm 50 now. I'll be 51 in 2 weeks, and I still am addicted to going and making another jam.
You get excited. You get the same. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, wait till I go out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
What a beautiful feeling.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, the age part, I'm never really worried about the age part anyway, even though a lot of people do. Like, oh, man, you ain't going to catch me at 40 or 50 rapping. Okay.
All right, whatever.
You're going to catch me rocking, So do what you love until you don't love it anymore.
Yeah.
I love it, so keep doing it.
What do you think about the younger artists? Do you feel, because I'm always conflicted. I feel like sometimes they don't know what respect is. Sometimes I just feel like, look, yes, you might not be directly, connected to a certain situation, but these are the OGs that paved the way for you, for myself, for all of us. Do you ever get offended when you see things happening out here? And do you ever feel like, all right, I'm gonna call them out, or do you just not care?
I think the attention span is short because of the internet.
Yes.
Like for us, the internet is great for me because my audience is already built in, and now I can actually instantly push a button and go, hey, I got this going on tomorrow, tune in, and they're gonna check it out because they're looking for anything else I got going on. So I take advantage of it in that way, and I'm very smart on, even if I respond to somebody that disses on a Twitter or something. I remember I did a mix recently, and the guy, you're the worst DJ ever. Yeah, and I'm just like, so that makes you want to check their profile, see how many followers they got, and see if they're following you, which he wasn't following me. Only had 47 followers. And again, out of all the millions of people in the world, if somebody's not feeling me, that's cool. But you obviously checking something out to respond to me, and that's cool too, because that's your opinion. If you think I'm the worst, and then when I start seeing, I check their thread of what they type, and then when I see what they post and all the ignorant stuff they put up, and incriminating stuff they put up, I'm like, all right, I don't want this person on my timeline anyway. So
exactly.
I introduce them to Block.
Yeah. We love Block.
Yeah, Block's my homie.
How does an artist, an upcoming artist, get your attention? Because this is probably the biggest question I get when I talk about such a legend coming in or whatever. It's always like, man, I just need one shot with him. I just need him to listen to this. How can someone get a hold of you?
Well, for one, I've had people come up and say, yo, you don't carry cards, and it's like, no, we're word of mouth, but it's a weird industry, and we had to walk everything when we wanted to get heard, go to the clubs, or even get accepted. And it's kind of like that now, but it's still, like I said, with the internet, it's so much easier to contact and connect with somebody. So with the younger generation that wants to get a part of it, it's really either getting with somebody that or you can hit me on Instagram or whatever. We're there, and even just if you bump into me here, I'm gonna go, hey, here's a person you got to contact. Obviously, it's a chain of command that gets to the point of it getting to me and all of that stuff. But I really do listen, because I have a radio show that I do on Fridays that only plays underground hip hop from the perspective of what we call the purest form, which is just raw beats and dope rhymes, but it's reminiscent of the era of what we heard when we used to hear the mix show with Red Alert and Marley Marl and Chuck Chill Out and Awesome too. So I'm just doing a 2017 now, which when it's 2018 I'll do that version. But I want that lane to always exist, because that's the purest form has to exist in all ways. Just like you have old school or oldies R&B and stuff, but or soul music, but then you still have the R&B of today. And I'm not against any of the stuff that the younger generation does, but they do, and I study them. Right. So the fact that I know who Uzi Vert is, I know the Migos record Bad and Bougie, which I love that record. It's great. I won't do that style because I don't have to, but for what they're doing,
it's great.
I like it. I'm in the car going with and all that stuff. But I feel like, hey, I'm up on your stuff. Do you know mine?
And I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what makes you obviously who you are, but why you've been able to evolve part of the culture and musically, because you study. You're obsessed with music. Yeah. You love this. So I think people forget like, hey, there's nothing wrong with watching and admiring other forms of music. Like it's okay. It doesn't make you, you're a dick rider, you're this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nah, and that's the thing too, is like with us, I was brought up, when I was a kid there was no rap at all. So I had to study all the other music, rock and classic rock, and new wave music started to come up when I was in high school, and I was into punk rock music. I was very rebellious, and I was into anything that just had that anger, to get the anger and stress of how society is and all that stuff. I like struggle music. So, but
it's from the soul. It's from the soul,
but I like my slow jams, and I got my lovey-dovey
side.
Do you
like slow?
Yeah.
What is a top 3 slow jam?
Do Me Baby from Prince. Because that was, it was 10 minutes long, so you could slow dance with the girl, and feel like you went all the way on the dance floor. Yeah, and let me see another slow jam. I would say, oh man, what is it called? Soon As I Get Home from Babyface. Is it called Soon As I Get Home? I think it is.
Those are the lyrics I know.
Yeah, scratch. The Babyface, Soon As I Get Home. Is that the name of it? Soon As I Get Home. Yeah, Soon As I Get Home, that. And a third one would be, I would say, I would say another good slow jam, Earth, Wind and Fire.
This is so funny hearing this from you right now.
Either Love's Holiday or Can't Hide Love.
Wow. Do you think now, imagine if Instagram or social media existed during the golden era of hip hop. Do you think we would have seen you out here? Like we see all these other rappers, all lovey-dovey, posting pictures of their booze. Would you?
I don't know, because I have a 5-year-old son and I will not post him. I don't post him at all. One time I showed his hands when he was a little baby. Because he was, it was his birthday, and I just showed his hands on top of my hands. But I don't post them because I just think it's just, maybe, if my son was like 12, 13, 14, then, I'd do a picture with me and my son hanging, because he's a teenager. But as a baby, no, I just don't think it's safe. It's
not safe.
And a lot of people just go overkill with posting their kids, and I'm just like, I'm not doing it. But, and then, we used to flash money and all kind of other stuff. And I'm like, why do people put this on Instagram? Those big old stacks of bread. And it's like, you're incriminating yourself, in my opinion. But if we had it back then, I think I'd still be smart enough to think twice. I mean, because even when we took all the crazy pictures with guns and all that stuff,
I was gonna say
we're not sitting there going, "Hey, look at our picture of us with guns." That was our own little thing, just to say, "Yo, this is for our photo album." Me and my crew, and we saw, we all were gun crazy back then and stuff, way before Onyx did the record, but and laying out, spelling my name with all my money in hundreds, no singles, hundreds and stuff, but we did all that stuff, but I definitely wouldn't do that now. So nah.
I wish Instagram existed then, because I would have loved to see. I could only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, just even hearing that record labels are giving you money to go hang out, and just what a different life.
It was way better, man. And then, like I said, I run into pictures that I've been going through my archives and like, ooh, and I'm like, I'll never Instagram that, But I found a cool picture I'm gonna post soon with me. This is when Old Dirty Bastard in 1988, when he had the stair stepper flat top, and his name was A-Song Unique.
Oh,
he
my
wasn't,
gosh.
he even says it in Brooklyn Zoo, I'm the one man army A-Song, but he wasn't Old Dirty Bastard back then, and I'm looking at it like, that's right, we were with him back then in '88. Crazy picture.
God, what great memories.
Yeah.
As the years go by, does it get any easier for you, for all the friends that you've lost along the way?
It's weird because you get numb because we've lost so many,
right?
Not just artists, but even just friends of ours, but losing Pun and Guru and Old Dirty and Easy E, like we all knew each other. We were all in the same circles of clubs, music, and respect for each other. And then we had a lot of homies that I lost. Some were murdered predominantly, and it's it's sad because it goes with the territory of the streets, and when you're in that level of it, like we were. And it's sad to go to so many. I've been to so many wakes and funerals. It's weird, but somehow I'm one of those people that has a strong belief that you still got to look and say things get brighter in some type of way, whether you believe it or not, whether you just don't ever want to accept that. I do, and just say it's going to get better, and I just push on and go right back into my mode of just having a good day.
Do you get sad ever when you listen to Big and people that you
Guru, I'll sit there and cry. I won't do it around other people,
right?
But when I'm by myself or watch a video, boom, you'll just be watching it going, man, look at that was the day, and all of a sudden, and
I think that's so important to hear that, just to hear you as a man being vulnerable, to say like, I miss my friends.
Yeah, we're human,
It's not just music. It's not just business.
I just don't do it in front of people. That's just my thing. I mean, everybody has their time to cry. I'm sure there's a lot of people that that do it at a time when they just got to get away and do it. But I'm the same way. I don't like to. I like to show my strong side when necessary, show my vulnerable side when necessary.
Yeah.
So,
you don't really, to me, and I could be wrong, you don't seem like you like to get out of your element. Pretty cool unless you're tested, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And whatever happened or transpired from the situation, I just saw briefly there was a blogger that spoke on you and you addressed them. I think it was Vlad. So what made you want to respond? Because I feel like you are at a point where you don't have to.
It's mainly because a lot of us know each other, and then they know me, especially when you know my history of things that we've been through, from drama to surviving just a lot of crazy stuff in our career. It's like you should know who and who not to mess around with. And I've never carried myself like, you do something to me, you say something about me, you're gonna get hurt or anything like that. But I've granted him interviews. I've granted him things that he wanted to do, and even got interviews lined up that he needed if he couldn't contact somebody. So, and that goes for anybody, not just him. But if that happens to where they say something that really crosses me the wrong way or is very incorrect, knowing that I'm not a person that thrives on all that incorrect stuff, being that the internet has the power of one button can spread all over the world, I'm like, yo, I gotta check you. So, but I checked him where it was tasteful and not overdone. Okay. And then he reached out, and we're good.
Good. And I'm really happy to hear that, because your energy does not seem, it seems like you would want to square it away, especially if you know someone, which is, I'm not the type of person where I enjoy seeing people continuing having fallouts or anything for clicks.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not
question.
that person. So I'm happy to hear that worked out because I just love seeing good people win out here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm all about. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have bad days like anybody else, so I have to accept that. So when bad things happen, you just gotta walk through it. I mean, every day ain't gonna be a happy day.
Oh my gosh,
You know
say
what I'm
that
saying?
again.
Yes. Every day ain't gonna be a happy day.